Once upon a time, there was a young girl named Christelle. She used to love eating chalk sitting next to the chalkboard. She put all her homework in her trapper keeper that was covered with strawberry shortcake stickers. She would practice her cursive handwriting skills in her notebook. She would end her day checking out the best little house on the prairie books from the school library. Little did she know that entering the 21st century, technology would change her need for those items. Today, I'm going to talk about how technology has changed education. First, I'm going to talk about the history of education tools in the classroom. Second, I'm going to discuss how technological advances have changed the way we learn and teach. Third, how it has changed the college experience. And lastly, I'm going to complete my speech with some of the barriers with technology in the classrooms. Let's talk a little bit about some of the history of technology, or before technology. Chalkboards, that's how we used to learn in the classroom. The teacher would do each assignment on the chalkboard, erase it, start over. Cursive handwriting, that's what I was talking about with the handbook that I would go home and practice with every day. I used to love doing that actually. I spent a lot of time. The typewriter, that I did not like so much. I was good at typing, however, I tended to make a lot of mistakes that I couldn't fix. You either needed whiteout or you needed to put a whole complete paper in there, and sometimes that would take you hours to complete a one-page essay. The first computer, it's a very big computer. I did like that though, because I could learn to type on there and you could print some stuff off of there. However, it was not colorful at all. It was green and black, and you had to do it in a DOS format, and that means there were codes. So you had to memorize codes to be able to do an application, not like today. And then a floppy disk, which is attached to that. They're a little bigger to save things. They're big and gaudy, and they're not very useful. This is a slide projector. Most of the time, it was in our history class that we would have the use of a slide projector. We would learn on that. Sitting in the classroom, that was the only kind of like projection thing you have there with pictures and that sort of thing, and I could still hear the clicks in my head from that one. And then the telephone, not as pretty as what they are now. And the bad side about that is you can't see pictures on that, you can't text anybody on that. If you call somebody, if it's a busy signal, either one, they're on the phone, or two, they have taken the phone off the hook because they don't want you to get through. Moving on to our next point, technology in the 21st century. That has changed immensely from a couple years ago, 20 plus years ago. iPhone, everybody knows what that is, or they should know what that is. Either you have an iPhone or somebody who does. All the applications are on there. You can text on there, you can take pictures on there, you can Skype on there, you can do everything possible, but never thought you could on an iPhone. iPads, those are a big thing to use in the classroom now. Teachers are starting to teach through those. You have assignments on there, you can save your homework on there, you can do research on there, all of those sort of things. And then, of course, all of the social media stuff that we have nowadays. Anything from Facebook to Instagram to YouTube, there's a video about everything. If you don't know how to do something, go to YouTube because you will figure out step by step by step, even including applying makeup. And then smart boards. You should be familiar with those if you're in a classroom setting right now. These are really cool. I actually like them. You write on the chalkboard, but yet you're not touching the chalkboard. It's basically, if you pick a color, you can change the color, you can circle it, you can erase it. It's also attached to the web, so you can go on there and research something right at the same time that you're doing a class. So for teachers nowadays, I think they have it a lot easier to be able to teach. As for the way classroom online is, 45% of the students are now taking a class via an online course versus a traditional classroom. The change in the demographics of the typical college student, it used to be that students were straight out of high school. Now the shift has approximately 12 million are 18 to 24-year-olds, and 500,000 are over 30 years old. and 75% of the students in college now are juggling families, jobs, and school. There's also a shift in careers after college. More college graduates are choosing the high-tech, programming, business computer systems, and engineering fields. And this source is from edtechmagazine.com. Let's talk about some of the potential barriers from technology. Smartphones. They're great. However, they can also change your ability to communicate with other people. It's a lot easier to hide behind texting somebody versus calling people. Also, with the influx of social media sites that I previously mentioned, the chances for cyberbullying increase and can cause a rise in depression in teenagers. And then also implementing new technology in the classroom can have some hiccups and learning curves. Just with technology, everybody's learning at the same time, so it's harder to either A, catch up, or that there's not some hiccups associated with it. So that can be some of the potential barriers. And then researchers believe that writing, spelling, and reading is at risk for teenagers who use a lot of shortcuts because of texting. So modern technology can be a problem for those students writing like business reports and essays that require the proper English language techniques. And this is from the World Academy of Research in Science and Engineering. Also, some of these resources, I did get them from teachhub.com. Well, I'd like to conclude by leaving you with this quote from Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And I believe with technology changes in education, we are changing the world at a faster rate of speed.